Hi, this is Dr. Paul Firnhaber. It's Wednesday and it's time for 10 minutes of truth. So today I have two very important articles here that I want to talk to you about that have the information could have a great impact on your health. The first article is from a journal called Epidemiology and Global Health. The name of the article is Higher Risk of Plasma Omega-6, Omega-3 Fatty Acid is associated with greater risk of all-cause cancer, cardiovascular mortality, and all-cause mortality. So this article is from the University of Georgia, Cornell, and the University of Austin, University of Texas at Austin. And the purpose of the article is to look at the omega-6, omega-3 ratio, these two fatty acids, and to see what effect that has on cancer, heart disease, and all-cause mortality. Now, in the Western diet, which is primarily ultra-processed foods and seed and vegetable oils, we have way too much omega-6 fatty acid versus omega-3 fatty acid. And they're saying that some studies have raised concern that too many omega-6 fatty acids in Western diets could be harmful. And scientists have proposed that the balance of omega-3 and omega-6 in diets is vital to health. So a number of existing studies have shown that there's an inverse association of circulating levels of omega-3 polyunsaturated fatty acids and mortality, which means the inverse ratio means the higher the omega-6 gets, the lower the mortality, the lower the omega-6 fatty acids in circulation, the higher the mortality. And so what this study did is they actually looked at the amount of omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids in the blood. And there were a huge study, like 85,000 people. And they found out some very interesting things. That omega-3 and omega-6 polyunsaturated fatty acids in plasma were all inversely associated with cancer, all-cause mortality, and cardiovascular disease. Risk for all three mortality outcomes increase as the risk of omega-6, omega-3 polyunsaturated fatty acids increased. Comparing the highest to the lowest quintiles, meaning they divided it into fifths, individuals had a 26 higher total mortality rate, 14% higher cancer mortality rate, and 31% higher cardiovascular disease mortality rate in the lowest quintile. In other words, people had the lowest amount of omega-3 fatty acids in their blood. In the Western diets, we have about a 20-to-1 ratio, or really even a lot higher. And it's estimated that during most of the time of human existence, up until like past World War II, the ratio was really about 1-to-1. Now it's 20-to-1 omega-6 to omega-3, and for a lot of people, a lot higher. So the conclusion of this study was that the experiments support dietary interventions to raise omega-3 fatty acid levels and maintain a low omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acid ratio to prevent early deaths from cancer, heart disease, and other causes. So what that means is that you want to make sure that you're either eating a lot of fish or you're taking an omega-3 fatty acid supplement. Now, the three primary supplements that help slow down the aging process and increase longevity are omega-3 fatty acids, magnesium, and vitamin D. Those are the three big ones that we really need to look at. And today, we're looking at the omega-3 fatty acids. Now, here's another interesting study. This is from JAMA, May 6, 2024. This other article was from April 5th of this year. This is from Harvard, Zhejiang University of Medicine in China, and the University of Copenhagen. And they looked at 92,000 people over 28 years, and they assessed the amount of olive oil in their diet. And they wanted to look at olive oil versus dementia. And here's one of the things they say in this article. Olive oil may exert anti-inflammatory and other neuroprotective effects due to its high content of monounsaturated fatty acids and other compounds with antioxidant properties such as vitamin E and polyphenols. So the findings in this study show that those with the highest olive oil intake, 7 grams per day, which is about a half a tablespoon a day, had the lowest dementia-related death risk compared to those with minimal intake, never or less than once per month, regardless of diet quality. Consuming at least 1/2 tablespoon of olive oil per day was associated with a 28% lower risk of dementia-related death compared to with never or rarely consuming olive oil. Replacing 5 grams per day of margarine and mayonnaise with the equivalent amount of olive oil was associated with an 8 to 14% lower risk of dementia mortality. It says olive oil intake represents a strategy to reduce dementia mortality risk. So here's my take on this. First of all, if you look at most commercial salad dressings, they're really bad for you. They're filled with omega-6 fatty acids, which we learned from this first article. It's not good. It's highly inflammatory. They have sugar, lots of sugar, and lots of other chemicals, and they're not good for the human body. So my recommendation is when you eat a salad, instead of using commercial salad dressing, which is not good at all, that you use maybe olive oil and some sort of balsamic red wine vinegar, or balsamic vinegar. And there's all kinds of them that you can get that really taste pretty good. But commercial salad dressings are not good for you. They're not healthy. The only time that I ever eat them is when I'm at a restaurant, at a buffet, and I want to eat a good salad, but the only thing they have there is commercial salad dressing. Then I will use that, but I never use it at home, ever. I always use olive oil and balsamic vinegar. So from these two articles, the kind of fat that we put in our body really does matter. And our brains are made of primarily fat. They have about 12% DHA, or omega-3 fatty acid. And the membranes that surround our cells, which are the brain of our cells, are all made of fat. And so the kind of fat that we put into our body makes an enormous difference for our long-term health. And people that eat a lot of seed oils, a lot of fried foods, and a lot of processed foods have a lot more disease than people that don't. So my take on this is add olive oil to your diet and eat it and use it regularly, and at least take an omega-3 fatty acid fish oil supplement and eat as much wild caught ocean fish as is possible. So I hope this helped you. Hope this information helps you with your long-term health. And I will be with you next week for another edition of 10 Minutes of Truth on Wednesday. We'll see you then.